What up? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Mr. ManOc, the Dapper Dabber, and this is where cannabis happens. Today we are ingesting and enjoying some beautiful cannabis VR. I like to call it a mix between cannabis and caviar. Not real caviar like that, that kind of stuff, but the quality of it. So that's why I call it caviar. So we are gonna ingest some right now. Excuse you know, the throat, whatever. And I hope you're smoking token joking with me. And let me get into the first rip for y'all. So take a rip of this. And so excited to tell you about what today is. Today is my 2-year new year. Yes, my 2-year anniversary of myself refraining from alcohol use and alcohol abuse for myself in a personal in my personal life, I guess. So 2 years on this date. I stopped for many reasons. We'll get into that in a moment. Through Cannabriety, mostly. Living a life through, I guess you want to call it excess smoke. I mean, switching one habit for another habit, but essentially I quit because because this habit is a lot more. But there's no way in hell I'm gonna die off this shit like if any other. The alcohol was gonna kill me. I was you want to call it. I was an alcoholic. I was having. I can't say regret it. Regret some of it, because some of it was bad. Some of it was good. Some was hilarious. Some of it was sad. Some of it was just humiliating, probably sometimes. But liquor turns wise men into fools. And I've learned that many times over and over again, and experienced to be the butt of the joke, and things like that you don't think other people catch. I mean, you don't think other people catch when you catch, when you're being in that lifestyle. And you're just so down, reputation and your pride, and well, I don't know about reputation and pride. Because just getting to that level that you gotta, I don't know. I got to the level I was just pestering somebody all the time. One of my family members, friends, family. What up? Hey, what's up? What you got on my 40? What you got on my drink? I hear that in your pocket. That's about 75, 95 cents. So he lives a clown around like that shit. He used to change or kicking dollars up in the pocket. I used to estimate or just clown around so I can but they would eventually give it to me, and I had a lot of friends and family that would just support. I don't know if you want to call it support, but would allow me to come in and hang out and just drink myself stupid, and it's not their fault. It's only it's my fault also, So I do oh, look at that. I got real nice lightheaded because this cannabis is doing what it's supposed to do. Making me feel nice and right. You can't do that with alcohol. You can't remember the next day. But yes, through Cannabriety, you can fix a lot of ailments, especially addictions like alcoholism. If you just switch one for the other, and you can, even if it's just switching the habit, because they say when you do switch one habit for the other one, you're still abusing the other habit, but you're thinking that you're not harming yourself. But with marijuana, you can still do that, and you can abuse the shit out of marijuana and not overdo it, not die, not get sick, So that's one thing. Just some craziness, So I'm just so proud. Well, I guess you want to say proud of myself. It's been a long time. 2 years is 2 years is a long time to go through this transition of being a recovering alcoholic, and still going through it, because it's only 2 years, so you're still at the point. I guess I don't know what they want to call it. I was never the one for meetings, but I do like to congregate. I like to be around people to with similar causes, similar beliefs, similar. So I went to a couple, but that's not for me. In that type. I do want to spend my energy now that I am sober and I am living a sober life, is help others, or just help guide others in a more brighter light or just a healthier way of living, if it's just by decreasing your alcohol or your drug intake, or can stop completely. Even your cigarette, I'm gonna be against cigarette use too, but not as much as these damn pills, this damn alcohol. We have a crazy epidemic on opioids. Yes, there's statistics out there. We're gonna get into that later. Another thing because we gotta bring in real facts with this. But we're talking about Cannabriety, and the ManOc. From Man Out of Control to Man of Cannabis. Man Out of Control was because I was used to hearing everybody saying, man, you OC, oh, man, you out of control, man, or in a good way. Sometimes they be laughing, man, you out of control, you man, you out of control, and sometimes you be like, or some people like, man, nigga, you OC, you out of control, in a good and bad way. They were all sick, So the one, I just kept hearing that for a couple years, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm ManOc, So I guess I dubbed myself that, because I kept hearing that, kept hearing that ringing in my ear and shit. And I was always, bogus or, funny or, either teeter-tottering doing something. Because with alcohol, you're just not in the right frame of mind. You're not your person. You're not the same. I do apologize to all the people I offended. Any crossed or wrongdoing, do apologize from the deepest part of my soul. That was not me. And if I could, I'd make amends somehow, someday to most of y'all. If I can. I'm not going to go on and do a goddamn Earl's list and shit like that. No way. So, I want to spend my other time, not preaching, learning all I can about this cannabis plant that can help me and others through my addiction. Because this is a real big issue of mine that I had in my mind for these whole 2 years. Well, mostly this year now because it seems like I've become clearer minded. This last few, just a little bit more recent, but I've been seeing all things around me, and I do want to help people around me that are struggling with addiction, with alcohol, drug addiction, emotional addiction, depression, things like that. Just if they wouldn't even talk to me, they could talk to anybody else. They can talk to a damn hotline. There's someone on the other end. There's people online. There's always a forum. There's someone always listening. Or if you don't want to talk to someone, then read, write, draw, paint, do something that's going to express yourself, that will cheer your soul up, yourself up. That's all we're trying to do. And through Cannabriety and in the Canna community that we live in, it is all about peace, community, togetherness, oneness, to help each other, each one teach one, kindness. It's just all for the better for the people, and all these laws that they're trying to pass, or actually these laws I feel like they're getting batted back and forth. Like you're able to do it, but so much. Okay, you can do it more now. Okay, no, now we're gonna push it back all the way back, a little bit closer to the Stone Age. Then we want to have other people over here push it back again because it's not right, because what they're doing, it's like, with so many people for it, there's no way in hell you can push back, and try to go back and like take away rights of the people, like take away women's rights or take away equal rights or some crazy shit like that. That's essentially what you're gonna be trying to do, or that's how people uprise and lose their goddamn cool and whatever. And we can't always blame our goddamn officials. Yes, it's just how they've been brought up and their way of thinking, and sometimes it is. And it's got to deal with a lot with money. It definitely has got to deal with money and all these companies and these industries that benefit from not having legal cannabis flourish, because it's like a miracle plant. It's just by me researching myself. There's plenty of documentaries, plenty of research you can do for yourself. I advise you, please do that, because this is a all-in-one purpose. This plant that they're eventually going to see the 101 uses for. They even had it in Popular Mechanics in like 1931. They said the $1 million crop, something like that. I think 1931, something like that. But yes, if they're back then, they were raving about it. It's just that people in power hushed it, and people in power here had their grip so tight. the rest of the world follows suit. So now that we were lessening up our, now a couple of the people around the world are lessening their laws, you know. So there's a lot of good places besides America you can go to for legal cannabis. But America is our fucking country, so we love this bitch. You know, salute. Alright. So, you know, I'm glad to say this is my 2-year New Year. You know, it was a long struggle, long way to do. I still gotta go. And I want to be here to help myself, help others. I'm not trying to be better than anyone else. I'm just trying to better myself. You can always do that. Every day that you wake up, always be better than the person you were yesterday. Read, write, exercise, drink water, breathe some beautiful air. When it's be nice out tomorrow, hopefully you can breathe some of that air. When it's too cold, you can't breathe that. You know, you can't. You know. Anyways, catch me on all my social sites. The ManOc Cannabis at yahoo.com and gmail.com, through Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and Tumblr. This is ManOc, Bizarre of One, Jacques Cousteau, Benny Beneath, the last new figure to stay with a man, Mr. Smurf, Mr. 827, Spanish Quota, Escobar, the Dapper Dabber, the Man of Progress, and I hate that nigga. Peace.